Welcome, dear friends. Welcome to the Bold Talk, much awaited every week. And today we have a very special guest. And మీరు ఈ యొక్క మేడం ప్రొఫైల్ విన్నాక మనకి తెలుస్తుంది దట్ ఇఫ్ ఉమెన్ బికమ్స్ లీడర్స్ అండ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ మెరికల్స్ దే కెన్ డూ అండ్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ లీడర్స్ దే కెన్ బికమ్ what kind of impact they can create in the society. And madam profile 9 pages, when I'm going through that, I have understood that if women are given the equal opportunity and right environment, what they can do for the society. So మనం కూడా చూస్తున్నాం చాలా కంట్రీస్ ఎక్కడైతే న్యూజిలాండ్ లాంటి కంట్రీస్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉమెన్ ఆర్ హెడింగ్ ఉమెన్ లీడర్షిప్ ఉందో అక్కడ, సో బికాస్ దే ఆర్ మదర్స్ అండ్ they have the compassion, at the same time they have the courage to act. So welcome to the Bold Talk. And B Club is meant for leaders and entrepreneurs and enriching leaders and entrepreneurs. So today our topic is design your brain for success. మేడం క్వాలిఫికేషన్ చదవాలనుకుంటే ఐ థింక్ మనకి చాలా క్వాలిఫికేషన్ కావాలండి, అన్ని క్వాలిఫికేషన్ ఉన్నాయి మేడంకి. And success strategist in life solutions, certified demographic analyst, effective psychological counselor for child, youth and adults, and a website also syskakinada.com. So you can see that. And design your brain by the author. Today our session is, and she has recently written this book, and the brain design, and this is available in Kindle also. సో మేడం ఒక దాని మీద రీసెర్చ్ చేస్తున్నారు, దట్ ద సైకాలజీ ఆఫ్ యువర్ ఫింగర్ ప్రింట్స్. అంటే మన వేలు ముద్రలు హస్తరేఖలు చూస్తాం అన్నది ఒకప్పుడు మూఢనమ్మకం, బట్ టుడే ఇట్ ఇస్ ఎ సైన్స్ అండ్ షీ సింప్లిఫైడ్ ఇట్. సో అబౌట్ డాక్టర్ దామెర విజయలక్ష్మి గారు, షీ ఈస్ ఎ సక్సెస్ స్ట్రాటజిస్ట్ ఇన్ లైఫ్ సొల్యూషన్స్, సర్టిఫైడ్ డెమోగ్రాఫిక్ అనలిస్ట్, ఎఫెక్టివ్ సైకలాజికల్ కౌన్సిలర్, proven track record in education training and placements, successful designing and implementation of educational reforms, resourceful leadership in various social projects, meaningful R&D in academics, published academic books, self-help and educational DVDs, effective NLP practitioner, psycho-legal counseling and advisor, and present career experience. She is a psychologist, strategies, options, solutions dealing with challenges with child, youth, adults and aged, principal Pragati College of Education, director Jnana Preschool, research center for learning strategies. So apart from these awards and achievements, I think this also takes a long time to read, and
I think we can skip that.
it needs no introduction. So you can see that a lot of awards and received by her. Today, I'm sure in this situation, her words, her healing words, her ideas, and her research, and because she has done PhD, doctorate, especially on education, and she has been headed a college, B.Ed college ki madam head chestunaru administration lo and principal ga. So no one knows better than her about the society, about the future education, about the child, about the parenting, and she is a multi-dimensional and multi-talented and master, and I really admire her. And thank you for accepting to be our guest today, and it's all over to you. And we only say be bold, stay bold and play bold. And thank you, Vijayalakshmi Garu, for being in this Bold Talk. And it's all over to you, madam. So, welcome to the Bold Talk, madam.
Thank you so much to Venu and the program Bold Talk. I was very inspired listening to this and how he's touched the hearts of people through these programs. And they have been very creatively designed, and I'm privileged to be a part of this program. Thank you. To just give a brief of myself, being a psychologist for the past 34 years has been a lovely journey where I have gone into the minds of people. I have been able to experience how people think, feel, and act. Now, having said that, for the past 6 years, I have specialized more into this. And like he just showed you the book that I had just released during this lockdown period, I said I need to use this time constructively. So 2 months, March end, April, May, I've sat down, put my thoughts together and finished that book. It's a basic book about how people need to understand how you are born. You are born with the design. Now, unless you understand who you are, you can't do anything. We all, as a psychologist, we all look from outside, but dermatoglyphics, helps you look from inside the brain. And this 6 years journey has been mind-blowing, a revelation, because that 30 years of psychology and this 6 years of brain analysis has been a revolution, I would say. When we are in the mother's womb, okay, we, from conception, that is from the mother and the father, we get genes. Now, one could be dominant, one could be recessive, but there is a combination of genes that we get from our parents. So who am I? I am a product of the genes of my mother and father. Another mind-blowing study that I realized was that 9 months in the mother's womb is also a determining factor to make me who I am. And this we can see through the fingerprint analysis, where the mother's thoughts, there's a lot of research being done on this, where the mother's thoughts can change the vibration in her body, which will change the fluids in the womb, which would again be responsible for the change in the volar pad, which would again be responsible for change in the fingerprint. And these fingerprints are connected to the brain. So if you understand the beauty of the design that God has created, where the brain and the fingerprints are connected, and how there's some unique combination and connection that we all don't know. In the name of science, half of us are still ignorant. Even I am not the expert, but since I've happened on this, I want to share my knowledge so that more people get into this, understand it more, and more research can be done, because this is a very, very complex study. For an individual who is born, now we were talking about, the topic for today was knowing your brain design. How do we know who we are? Okay. A simple technique that I use is whoever walks into my office, the first thing that I do is I take their 10-finger scan, biometric scan. So the minute over experience, the minute I look at 10 fingers, I'm able to understand exactly what is inside the mind of that person. Okay, because that is the brain design, the way he looks at the world. That is his glasses. So each one of us puts on different colored glasses, and we look at the world, I with green, you with blue, someone else with yellow. So we're looking at the world with shades of colors, but we are not actually understanding that the other person has a different pair of glasses. We tend to think that just because I am looking at this in this manner, this is the truth, and even the next person should see it in the same manner. And this is the cause of all our problems. This is the cause of unhappiness, and this is the cause of lack of mental health. So if you talk about mental health, you have to first understand that if a person is happy, he's mentally strong, mentally healthy. He's able to solve any problem of his own. So if he has to be happy and healthy, he has to first understand who he is. Because most of us, or all of us, I would say, we are not really happy all the time. At one time we are happy, another time we are not so happy. So what is causing this unhappiness? Now, if you look at why are we unhappy, it will be most probably because of our expectations that we have. I want that person to be in a particular way. If he's not so, then I tend to get angry or I get frustrated. So when expectation is the cause of unhappiness, I need to now set a realistic expectation. To understand that, I need to first understand, who am I? Who are they? But forget about the others. First, who am I? Why am I like this? Why am I expecting this? Because I see, I deal with all kinds of cases, right from when they're born till old age. So you have different kinds of problems, and each time, each one has one kind of an expectation. The same parents who have given me the genes would have different expectation of me, and I would have different expectation of them, though we have the same gene. So then we have to not just look at your genes, your fingerprints, you have to understand the environment that the person is in, the kind of birth order, like, am I the eldest child or the younger child? Am I the only child? Am I rich? Am I poor? Are my parents divorced? There's so many factors that we need to look into. And this has been the study of psychology for me all these years. But when we look at fingerprints specifically, I have evolved, or I don't know, it's my journey. So I felt these 9 fingerprints are the most important. One, arch, where the lines just go across. I think I could share this on the screen. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay. See, I
But
call
not
myself.
Yeah, now we can see that.
Okay. So I call myself a success strategist, not as a psychologist, not as an educationist, because when the minute you say psychology, people tend to get different meanings. That am I normal? Why should I go to a psychologist? Is there something wrong with me? So I've changed my title to success strategist, because I believe that all of us have to be successful. We are all geniuses. There is no person who is not a genius, but we have to know how to use what we have. God has endowed us, God or fate or parents or whatever you can call it, we are all endowed with some abilities. Now, these abilities have to be understood, have to be realized, and we need to use those abilities to transform ourselves. But when we don't know what we have, how the hell can we transform? So we need to now first understand who we are. So this is the book that I've written, and I believe that there are 9 brain patterns, which if you understand, you can pave the way for success. Now, I understand that the womb is the first place where we are all manufactured. So that womb of the mother is so important.
The full screen కనబడట్లేదండి.
Now?
ఇంకొంచెం reduce అవ్వాలి.
Okay, how do I do that?
Yeah, I think you can a little more. Yeah. It's not PPT, isn't it?
It's a PPT.
Fine, and it's not coming fully, that it's edges cut out now.
Okay, not an issue, because I'm just using it as a trigger, but you can listen to my voice.
That's fine. Thank you.
Okay, there are 9 brain patterns, I call it, where if you understand these 9 brain patterns, you understand minds. So if you look at the first one, it is the secretive brain. So that's called an arch. I don't want to go into the explanation of this, but I just want you to understand the arch is a line that goes across the fingerprints. So these lines are people who are introverts, who look within themselves, who are very secretive, very judgmental, but they're always hiding inside and they're not exposing themselves and their own thoughts. The second variety, you have the imaginative brain, where these people are filled with passion, ideas, what and all can be done. It's a lot of abstract ideas, a lot of imagination, and these people are find it very tough to be in reality. The third kind are the holistic brain, where they're very loving, giving, easily influenced by people, and most often they feel victimized because everybody hurts them and they're very sensitive, so they get hurt very easily. The fourth kind is the critical brain. These people are those who look at everything from the other perspective. If everyone goes in one direction, these people would go in another direction. So these critical brains are ones which look for differences, try to find fault. They always have an attitude because they know something different, which is not what we know. But for society, these kind of people will be outcasts. These kinds of people will be looked down upon because they sometimes are so rude, because that rude is the truth. They don't know how to cover up their talk, and so invariably they blurt the truth. Then you have the intuitive brain program, where these kind of people have very strong sixth sense, and they just seem to know things even before they happen. So that receiving the signal from the universe is something that is in their DNA. And then you have the analytical brain, where they have a duality of two-way direction of the fingerprints. So these kind of people are always stuck with decisions, yes or no. black or white. So, these kind of people, since they can see from both perspectives, they are also people who are, very, you would say a jnani brain, an analytical brain. They know everything, but it's so difficult for them to come to a consensus. And so they keep fluctuating. So it's like as though they are cursed because they know everything, but they cannot freeze down to one conclusion. The seventh is the connecting brain, which is a spiral. And most often you see these in the depressive cases where, they tend to keep on connecting things. And the more they connect, the more they get sucked in with their own thoughts. And these thoughts tend to reel around their head, and it's like a mixie. So they don't know how to get out of the mixie because they're stuck in that whirlpool and it's pulling them down. And the eighth is the focused brain. These are the target-oriented people who want achievement, anything you want fast. So they don't know how to wait. And these are the kinds of people who tend to pick up an argument. And if you see a person who's very short-tempered, anger-prone, it is because of this focused brain. So if you look at these fingerprints, this is the arch. This is the tented arch, imaginative brain. This is the holistic brain, the loving, giving one. This is the critical brain, which looks at everything from the other direction. The intuitive brain, where there's a loop, but there is a spiral inside it. This is the analytical brain, the jnani, because they can look at it from both directions. This is the spiral, which goes round and round itself. And this is the target, where they want everything fast. Hello? Hello?
Yes, Vijayalakshmi garu, I'm here.
Yeah, okay. So now when you look at actually the 10 fingers, if you look at both the thumbs, the left thumb and the right thumb talks about who you are, and the left thumb talks about how you perceive people. Both the index fingers are connected to the frontal lobe, which involves your imagination and your thinking process. The middle finger is connected to the parietal lobe, dealing with your body. And the index fingers are connected to the temporal lobe, which involves your ears. And the little finger is the occipital lobe, which involves your eyes. So if you understand, there's a beautiful connect between the finger and the brain, the fingerprint and your personality. Now, when we look at, the total ridge counts on the left hand and the right hand, and you compare it, there you understand genetically that a person is left brain or right brain. So normally in society, in evolution, first they said left brain is a person who is, very logical, and it's a man's brain, because they will always think why. If you don't get the answer to why, you're stuck, you stay where you are. But if you tend to connect to your right brain and you say, okay, I don't know why I'm doing this, but let me see how I can do it. The minute you use the word how, then immediately your right brain opens up and you start getting new ideas. So it is the convergent and the divergent brain, and the combination of both the left and right brain, which can be understood through these ridge counts. And if you look at the left hand, your left thumb is the right, the left hand is the right part of the brain. They're connected opposite. So if you look at the left thumb, it talks about people skills, how you interact with people. So if the ridge count is higher, it means that you are connected to people more. I think, okay, that is the second left index finger. This talks about your imagination and confidence. Now, in my research, I have seen that a lot of people have low ridge count. That means they are not so confident.
Madam, I saw your presentation. Vijayalakshmi garu.
Yeah.
So it is full picture now. It is visible fully.
Okay, great. But can you see this?
Yeah, we can see that full slide.
Great. So if you look at the left thumb, just understand the 10 fingers, you will understand exactly how it's connected to our brain. The left thumb talks about, are you a people's person? Or you use people because you don't much care for them, but you use them for your whatever. The second finger, the left index finger, is one which talks about your imagination and your confidence. So when people are low on confidence, all their life, no matter what they achieve, they are stuck because they'll always think, can I do it? So it's not that, confidence is something that somebody else will give it to me, but it is because the way my brain is designed, and I have to work on this in order to make myself confident. So to become more confident, I need to achieve more. The more I get mastery, the more I will get confident. But innately, genetically, what I am is a person who will always say, can I do it? Do you think I can? And I'll always be asking people for help. And then there are those who are high rich count, who are like very confident. And even if they mess up things, they're still very confident. So like that, each of these fingers is telling us a story. If you see the middle finger, this talks about your kinesthetic ability. A lot of students who can't sit in the class, they call them hyperactive children, is only because they have high rich count in the middle finger. So these people always want to express with their body. So what if we give them some activity where they burn their energy and then they sit down in the class and make them study? It would be easier. So we need to know what is their strength, what is their weakness, and how to go about it. You have those, husband and wife normally have a problem saying, my wife is very lazy. She doesn't move. She doesn't clean the house. She doesn't do anything. This is also because of the middle finger, because maybe that she is not a proactive person and she'd rather sit back and relax. So you need to understand your genetic endowment. This ring finger on the left hand talks about your auditory sensitivity, the tone. So some people are so fast with picking up the tone of the voice. So when someone is talking, they immediately understand why the person is talking like this, what is going on in his mind, and what exactly is their thought process. So though the person doesn't say anything, the vibes that the voice is giving can be picked up by these people. And invariably miscommunications happen because of this. And you see the little finger here, which is very dangerous, very powerful. This little finger is responsible for people who have a huge vision about what they want to achieve in life. If the rich count is high, they are intrinsically motivated to reach for their goal, their vision of life. But if this rich count is less, these kind of people tend to, lead a very simple life. It's okay, I can adjust, not an issue.
Yeah, madam. Can you go ahead with another slide? Before that, I want to ask you one thing.
Yeah.
How this is going to apply in somebody's career or business? Because ఇవన్నీ ఫింగర్ ప్రింట్స్ మీరు చూపించారు, అవి వాళ్ళు చూసుకుంటే వాళ్ళకి అంత సెల్ఫ్ అవేర్నెస్ ఉండదు కదండి. మీరు డాక్టరు, మీరు అనలైజ్ చేయగలుగుతున్నారు. సో వాళ్ళకి ఎలా వాళ్ళ బ్రెయిన్ డిజైన్ చేసుకోవడం ఎలాగా, వాళ్ళ కెరీర్ డిజైన్ చేసుకోవడం ఎలాగా, వాళ్ళ బిజినెస్ ఎలా అప్లై అవుతుంది?
That is exactly the reason why I wrote that book, because everything is there in that book.
Okay.
So it's a very simple analysis. I mean, there are complex reports available in the market, but what I have picked on is just the basics. Wonderful. If you understand, one, the pattern. What are the patterns on each of the 10 fingers?
Yes.
That is the first important thing, because that influences your personality. Second, we look at the ridge count to see the speed of the brain. Some people are very fast, some people are average, and some are slow. So depending on that brain, they need to know where they are, because if the parent is expecting too much about the child, when the child is actually slow. So one father,
does that indicate multiple intelligences in the child, and intelligences unnai, intelligences levu? So
see,
what
actually multiple intelligence is given by Howard Gardner, and this has been incorporated in this tool of fingerprint analysis called DMIT report. Okay. I am not going into that, because first is we need to understand who we are. What is our brain? How does it work? Then you go into the intelligences. That is on a higher level.
What I mean is, does this help a parent or a child to choose the right career based on their brain structure?
Oh, yes.
Wonderful.
Because this
also
is
for the businessman to choose the right business for him, so that ఆయనకున్న ఇంటెలిజెన్స్ కి బిజినెస్ కి సరిపోతుంది, అలా ఏదైనా ఉంటుందండి?
Oh, yes. See, suppose you take their left thumb. This talks about your leadership quality. Actually, it is your people skills. I see this very high on business people. because for them, the client is very important. If they satisfy the requirement of the client, they make money. But this same high reach count when their child is in school is a problem, because half the time he'll be listening to his friends, but he will not be listening to the lesson in the class. That becomes a big issue.
Yes, అండి. సో ఇప్పుడు మీరు నాది కూడా అనలైజ్ చేశారు కదా. వాట్ డు యూ థింక్ ఈస్ మై స్ట్రెంగ్త్ అండ్ మై వీక్‌నెస్?
Okay, I don't know whether you
ask you in live.
Yes, see, because you are basically, you have a combination of arches and tented arches. So first thing is that you have to trigger your imagination, but try to be grounded in reality. 1. 2, because you have arches, you tend to go always in hiding. You're in hiding and you have huge ideas. And then right now, because of age, maybe you're showing the ideas and showing your bold talk is also one such dream of yours. So this is your imaginative brain, or the tented arch, which is actually in action. And you have a perfect brain of observing anything in the environment around you, and everything comes out in your talk show. So that is who you are, and you're using your potential and your capabilities beautifully.
వండర్ఫుల్ అండి. సో ఇన్ వాట్ వే ఆఫ్టర్ అనలైజింగ్ దట్ నాకు ఎలా బెనిఫిట్ అవుతుంది అంటే నేను ఐ కెన్ ఫోకస్ మోర్ ఆన్ దిస్ ఏరియా బికాస్ ఐ హావ్ కమ్ టు నో దట్ దిస్ ఈస్ మై స్ట్రెంగ్త్.
Yeah. Shall I just finish this last slide? Then we can go into your brain.
Please.
If you look at this is the left hand, and if you look at the right hand that's connected to the left brain, this right thumb is actually your basic personality. Any person who's listening to this session can just take a thumb impression of their right thumb and see what pattern it is. It will belong to one of these 8 categories. There could be combinations, but basically these 9 categories are the broad categories. So this, if the rich count, the number of lines is more, it means that this person is headstrong, a management person, a planning person. He will always want to be on top, and he will never take orders from anyone. If this rich count is low, it means they will always be listening to other people and will never take a stance for themselves. Okay, so this is your basic personality. This finger is responsible or connected to the analytical part of our brain. So people who are very high on this finger, the rich count, are people with beautiful analysis, and they know when to talk, when to keep quiet. But people with a low rich count, what happens is that because they are not clear on analysis, they either tend to become silent, or they tend to blurt out the truth. They talk some rubbish because they instigate the person to talk. When they instigate the other person, automatically they get some kind of information or input from the others, so they get clarity. So this is also a fantastic finger which can, you can understand why a person is having problems in life. Because the minute the brain analyzes, it is connected to your tongue. So just by listening to words of people, you can understand what's happening in their brain, if you look at it in detail. This is another beautiful indicator or connector to your brain. This talks about your finger dexterity, the handwriting, how nicely you write. And it also talks about your plan of action. When you do a task, how beautifully can you implement a task? Most often, parents are complaining, children are not studying, they're doing something else. This is because people, if they have this rich count little less, they would only do the unimportant thing first and put the important last. So this is called action sequencing, where you have to know how to use your priorities. If this is high, you don't need to worry about the kid, because the kid will study on his own anyway. And the right ring finger talks about auditory memory. Most of our ranked students, most of the geniuses, so-called geniuses in the world today, especially the Andhra brains, are all maybe, I feel, based on the auditory memory. So since they're so perfect with listening, when the teacher is teaching, input is coming in, I am recording it, it's in my brain, and when I go into the exam hall, I'm able to give the output. It is not that I've analyzed and understood the lesson, but it is because I'm reproducing what is in my auditory memory. And the last one is the visual memory. If it is high, these are people who love to read, like love the cell phone visuals like television. And people with low ridge count are not such keen observers. So you find most of the time parents complaining, my kid is not opening the book and reading. He's only listening in the class, he's getting his marks. But if he takes that book, he would get better marks. But because of the low ridge count, the child is not interested in getting any visual input. Okay, so these are the 10 fingers which give you so much of information. I'll just end my slideshow.
I can share it for your. I come in full screen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one.
We can close it, not an issue.
This one, madam, or next one?
Let close your search.
Yes, okay.
So now, if I've just given you a brief, because it is a complex study, it is my years and thousands of cases studies which I've done. But if you understand just 3 important things. 1, patterns. What kind of patterns of these 9 varieties you have in which finger? 2, what are the ridge counts in each finger? Because if you have a higher ridge count, you're better with that ability. Lower ridge count, less of the ability. And the third one is your 10 fingers. We do a percentage of this. And if you have more than 10%, it means that that person has all those strengths. And anything with below the percentage of 10 would be a weakness. So now when you know that a brain design is fast or slow, is loving, giving, or target-oriented or analytical kind of a brain, and if you know that the speed in which he is going and what are his strengths and weaknesses, what can he do, what he can't do, then it is so easy to understand a person and give him the right kind of guidance. Now let us presume that this person has some weaknesses. What do we do? That is the intention of this program. How do you design your brain for success? First is to be aware that yes, your fingerprints is revealing something about your brain. That is the first step. Then realization, every time you face that situation, yeah, what she said makes sense. So people will start thinking. Only when you realize that this is your inborn brain program, you need to understand that you need to now reprogram it. The world over talks about neuroplasticity of the brain. We can redesign our brain, but we have to first know where are the connections. What is connected to what? What is my strength? What is my weakness? Because right from when we are young, we grow up with so many inputs from our parents that we don't know whether it is my thoughts are because of my parents, because of my friends, or because of me. And we tend to get messed up in this because we forget who we are at the end of the day. But with this analysis, there is clarity, who you are, what you're capable of doing. Once you understand this, then you can start working on it. For example, left thumb is my weakness. I do not care for people. Okay, let's just assume that this is my weakness. What do I need to do now? If I have to achieve anything in life, relationships are important. So from now on, I need to focus on when I interact with people, I must not hurt them. I must not say anything which will be negative. And people are the ones who cause my unhappiness. So I need to work with people. You understand? Whichever area is low, you need to work on that area to strengthen it. And it is a consistent practice because this is your autopilot mode that your brain is working on. And you have to know how to get out of the autopilot and design it the way you want it. That's called determination and willpower. And that's how we need to redesign our brain. Now coming to Venu Bhagwan's brain, he has arches. So arches are very secretive people. They don't express, they don't share, but they observe.
Book, madam.
Pardon?
Now, first book per secret.
Okay, great.
And that is open in the market.
So that's the way your brain operates. Whether you don't like to share. If you share, it is because for the good of others, because they don't know, I need to help them out. That would be your judgmental brain because you feel You will always be pointing fingers at others and saying, they need to change for the better. They need to be better at themselves. It is not because you are condescending attitude saying they don't know, but it is because you love them. You want to do good for them. So you're pointing a finger and saying, get better. But in today's society, who is ready to listen to you? So that becomes an issue. So if you see where the arch is, in which finger it is, that also makes a difference. Contradictory to the arch, which is secretive in Venu Bhagavan's brain, the other contradiction is tented arches, which is full of imagination, ideas. He wants to do things in a grandiose way, huge ideas, huge potential is there in him. Now, there's one half of him which is hiding and judging. There's another half of him which is having lots of ideas. Now, he's torn between, should I keep it within myself? Should I share it? So this balance that is happening, between himself, trying to balance both, could have taken him a long time. And over a period of time, he has learned how to take charge of his life. See, whether you know your fingerprints or not, you will learn to live in life. But for me, I feel that when we grow old and die, when we are on our deathbed, and we look back and wonder, why did I waste my life? I have but one life. I don't know about the other lives. When I have one life, I'm not an animal, I'm a human being. When I'm a human being, I need to make use of these resources. When I talk about this to the suicidal cases, because most of them, they want to commit suicide or they have committed suicide, they come to me. And I just tell them one simple thing. If you die, where will you go? You will come back again in some other form. Suppose you are a lizard in my room on my wall. Would you prefer being a lizard on my wall, or would you like to be your form of a physical body? And most of them say, yes, I prefer my body and the way I am. And I say, you have a brain, use it. We are not animals where we are victims to other people. So being a human being is a gift of God, and we need to know how to use this brain which God has given us. But most of the time we tend to become negative, look at other people, compare all the time. Either people are stuck in their body about, my leg ache, my headache, my whatever, or they're stuck with, they have this, these people have this. We forget to enjoy life, because just being there, being able to think, being able to create is a boon. And we need to thank God every day for giving us this body, this brain, this ability to think, the ability to create. We were designed beautifully, but most of us don't even know what we are. Yes?
I think మీ మొబైల్ కనుక దగ్గర ఉంటే కొంచెం దూరంగా పెట్టరా. If your mobile is very near, please keep it little aside.
Who is this?
Yeah, any other sounds are coming అండి నాది కాకుండా? No. Yeah, మేడం మొబైల్ పక్కన ఉంటే రీసౌండ్ వస్తుంది, మీకు అది దగ్గర ఏం లేదు కదా మొబైల్?
లేదు. ఓకే. I mean, it's not on, so.
యా, చిన్నప్పుడు ఎవరో ఒక ఆయన ఆస్ట్రాలజిస్ట్ చూసి, నీకు ఈ లైన్ లేదు, నీకు ఎడ్యుకేషన్ లేకపోతే నీకు చదువు లేదు ఏదో అంటే, ఇది మారదా అంటే, లేదు మారుతుందండి. ఎలా మారుతుందంటే, నీ థింకింగ్ బట్టి మారుతాయి అన్నారు. ఇది ఎంతవరకు అప్పటి నుంచి నేను పట్టించుకోలేదు ఎప్పుడు. ఎందుకంటే ఇవి బట్టి నా లైఫా, నా బట్టి ఇదా అని అనుకున్నప్పుడు, ఈ మారుతాయి అన్నప్పుడు వై షల్ ఐ కేర్ దిస్. అందుకని ఐ నెవర్ షోన్ మై హ్యాండ్స్ టు ఎనీబడి. అండ్ ఎవరైనా చెప్పినా, ఎవరైనా కొన్ని మన ఏదో లైఫ్ స్పాన్ ఎప్పుడో 5-6 years బ్యాక్ హెల్త్ చెకప్ చేయించుకుంటే వాళ్ళు ఇచ్చారు. అది చాలా బాగుంది, నా గురించి రాసింది, బిజినెస్ మైండ్ లీడర్, అది బాగుంది కదా అని పెట్టుకున్నా. అంతకు మించి మోటివేషన్ అది నా గురించి చెప్పినట్టు అనిపించింది తప్ప నెవర్ టేకెన్ సీరియస్. సో అలా ఇది మారుతూ ఉంటాయండి. లేదా దీంతో సంబంధం లేకుండా యాటిట్యూడ్ ఉండొచ్చా, లేదా ఇది తెలుసుకుంటే దాని ఏమైనా అడ్వాంటేజ్ ఉందా?
See, fingerprints are something that is you are born with. Till the day you die, it is with you. That is why we have Aadhaar card, FBI, immigration. You go, they first scan your fingerprints, because this is your identity of who you are. Whereas palmistry is another story, because that keeps changing with your thought process. And again, they are connected to maybe the planets, maybe to astrology. I mean, see, basically psychology also has come from astrology. It was originally said psychology is the study of the soul. Because it was a science, they said, what is soul? There's no soul, we can't see it. So they took off the definition of soul, then they defined it as mind, they took it off. Then they said brain, they took it off. I mean, brain, of course, but then they went to the mind. And finally, it came to psychology is the study of behavior, because they have to find one scientific, something that you can see. That is science. So astrology is also a science, but again, depends on who is interpreting. Palmistry, again, is again based on who is interpreting. But I feel that fingerprints is something that is so clear, crystal clear. You can go directly into a person's brain. It is objective, because, you know, even when I compare psychometry, biometry, because that is my field, my world is psychometry. But after biometrics has come in, I have put that aside, because biometrics is giving me exactly who that person is. And over the years, over thousands of cases, I have proved, I mean, it has been proved to myself first, that yes, the fingerprints are very, very accurate. Exactly how you think, how you feel, that's it. You just need to understand this.
మీరు చెప్పింది కరెక్టే. ఇప్పటికి కూడా మారట్లేదు కాబట్టి అది ఎప్పటికీ మారదని, అందుకే కదండి బయోమెట్రిక్ మీరు ఫింగర్ ప్రింట్స్ తీసుకుంటారు. దట్స్ వండర్ఫుల్ అండి. దట్స్ ఎ గ్రేట్ థింగ్. సో అండ్ ఐఎమ్ ఆల్సో హ్యాపీ దట్ యాజ్ ఎ సైకాలజిస్ట్ మీరు అక్కడే ఆగకుండా ఆర్ హ్యూమన్ లైఫ్ గురించి, హ్యూమన్ బ్రెయిన్ గురించి, అండ్ అల్టిమేట్లీ ప్రోయాక్టివ్ గా వాళ్ళకి ఎలా హెల్ప్ చేయొచ్చు అని. అండ్ ఆల్సో ఐ హావ్ కమ్ టు నో యువర్ కన్సల్టెన్సీ చార్జెస్ ఆల్సో వెరీ మినిమల్. So you have not commercialized it. That's also a wonderful part. And you are a principal, and you have impacted your colleges, and you have made many people become excellent teachers, and mere education reforms gurinchi meer work chestunaru. So and many organizations, NGOs kuda meer help chestaru. So wonderful to see and complete human being in you. So and psychology ante oka mind gurinchane kaakunda you have gone beyond this, and it's the complete well-being of a human being. So that's really wonderful, Vijayalakshmi. So anybody has some questions, please raise your hand and we can unmute you, or you can type in your message also. A lot of questions ఉన్నాయండి. ఆ క్వశ్చన్స్ ఏంటంటే మీకు ఆల్రెడీ అడిగాను నేను, ఇలా ఫింగర్ ప్రింట్స్ మారుతాయా లేదా, ఇది అనలైజ్ చేయడం వల్ల, మీరు చెప్పడం వల్ల వెదర్ ద పర్సన్స్ యాటిట్యూడ్ మారుతుందా, సపోజ్ స్టూడెంట్ యాటిట్యూడ్ కానీ, పేరెంట్ యాటిట్యూడ్ కానీ, ఒక అడల్ట్ యాటిట్యూడ్ కానీ, బికాస్ యూ కౌన్సిల్ ఆల్ ఏజెస్ ఆఫ్ లైఫ్. సో అది కూడా మారుతుందా? ఇప్పుడు మీరు నో మోర్ మీరు కాకినాడలో ఉన్నారో ఎక్కడ ఉన్నారో చెప్పక్కర్లేదు, బికాస్ నౌ ఇట్ ఈస్ గ్లోబల్. ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ ఇన్ సమ్ ఆన్లైన్ ప్లాట్ఫామ్, you can counsel anybody, since you know the languages also very well. And since you are born in Bangalore and now living in Kakinada, you are a global citizen. And we are very proud to have a global resource in available locally, especially in East Godavari and Kakinada. So, and whether the person's attitude can be changed after the analyzation of this biometric.
Unless there is willpower, again I use the word will. If you bring me to the psychologist, if you bring your child to me, the child may not want to change. So who wants to change? Definitely they can change. So if you want to bring about a change in yourself, you come to me, you understand who you are, you can bring about a change. You can work on yourself. But if it is your child and you force the child to come to me, why will the child want to change? And second, the person who wants to change should also have maturity. At a young age, we always say, yes, I'll change. But we don't want to change. It is only when situations happen where, you know, you feel you've gone through a lot of pain, then you realize if I stay like this is not the way I'm going to progress. That is when the realization that I need to change in order to be successful. That turning point is the first step to success.
వండర్ఫుల్ అండి. సో మీరు సైకాలజిస్ట్కి కూడా చాలా మంచి హింట్ ఇచ్చారు, దట్ సైకాలజిస్ట్, కౌన్సిలర్ అని పేర్లు పెట్టుకోకుండా సక్సెస్ స్ట్రాటజిస్ట్ ఇలా చెప్తే, ఎందుకంటే చాలా మంది మ్యారేజ్ రిలేషన్స్ కానీ ఎన్ని చోట కానీ మేము ఆయనకి తేడా ఉందని ఈవిడ అంటది, ఈవిడికి తేడా ఉందని ఆయన అంటాడు, అండ్ దే ఆర్ నాట్ విల్లింగ్ టు కమ్ బికాస్ ద టాబూ ఈజ్ స్టిల్ దేర్. దాన్ని మీరు చాలా సక్సెస్ఫుల్ గా సక్సెస్ స్ట్రాటజిస్ట్, అండ్ బికాస్ యూ హ్యావ్ డైనమికల్లీ మీరు చాలా డైమెన్షన్స్ లో మీరు డెవలప్ చేసుకున్నారు కనుక అలా చేయగలిగారు. ఐ థింక్ దట్ ఈస్ ఎ గ్రేట్. ఎవరైనా సైకాలజిస్ట్ ఇది వాచ్ చేస్తుంటే మై రికమెండేషన్ ఈజ్ నాట్ టు జడ్జ్ అబౌట్ వాట్ బయోమెట్రిక్ సైన్స్ కాకుండా లుక్ ఎట్ హర్ మల్టీ డైమెన్షనల్ టాలెంట్స్, అండ్ ప్రాబబ్లీ ఐ థింక్ ఐఎమ్ రియల్లీ ఫెల్ దట్ మీరు సూపర్ హ్యూమన్ అనిపించింది మీ యొక్క నేను చదువుతుంటే దట్ అన్ని డిగ్రీస్, డాక్టరేట్స్ అండ్ ద కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సర్వీస్ యూ డన్ అండ్ లిటరల్లీ మీరు మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు ఒక కాలేజ్ని ఎలా ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మ్ చేశారు మీరు ఒక 3 years మీరు అక్కడే ఉండి అంటే టీచర్స్ కి తక్కువ సాలరీస్ వస్తున్నప్పుడు ఎట్లా ఫీల్ అయ్యారు మీరు అండ్ మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్లీ అసలు ఈ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఆన్లైన్ వచ్చిన తర్వాత అది ఐ థింక్ యూ హ్యావ్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఫైర్ ఇన్ యూ అబౌట్ ద ప్రెసెంట్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ సిస్టమ్ అండ్ ఇది ఎందుకు ఈ పిల్లల్ని ఇంత సఫర్ చేస్తున్నారు అని కెన్ యూ త్రో సమ్ లైట్ విజయలక్ష్మి గారు డూ యూ థింక్ దిస్ ఆన్లైన్ ఎడ్యుకేషన్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు హెల్ప్ చిల్డ్రన్ అండ్ పేరెంట్స్ వేర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి an education in the future?
See, this is a very sensitive question, and whatever I say will be controversial. But first thing is that I don't like education the way it is. Okay, because just because I don't like it, I'm not pointing a finger, but I have worked practically. That is why I started a tuition center, a preschool, because I want education to change for the child. Because in the curriculum designers unnaru, all the great stalwarts have worked on education, on curriculum, what the child needs. But today the child actually doesn't want to study. Why is he going to school? He's only going because of his parents, because he has to go and his friends are there. So in that process, somewhere rat race low, he has forgotten who he is. Parents have forgotten who the child is. Educationists have forgotten what they're doing. And in this commercialization of education, somewhere the curriculum is not apt, the teaching techniques are not apt, and it is not child-centric, because it has to be life skill oriented. Today, with the lockdown, I think children, I also said this in another program, children are really enjoying themselves because they're happily with the phone or with the TV, and they have no school to go to. They're happy, they're lazy, they don't do anything, they don't have a bath. Parents are shouting at them, but they somehow manage, and then they say online class, so they take the phone and then they start getting diverted. But really, the child's brain is brilliant. You give him that cell phone, he will go through all the apps. Even you take an LKG, not LKG, even a 1-2-year-old child, you give the cell phone, they are so tech savvy today. Now that means their brain is going fast like a rocket. And here we are still giving them age-old curriculum, age-old theories, and we are not modifying it based on how they actually want education. Because the brain of the child is so fast, if the teacher is still sitting and, explaining on the blackboard and telling them and explaining, the child doesn't want to listen. You tell them the point, they'll pick it up. You give him an application, he will do it better. But our education system has become theory method. So when it's theory based, we are only internalizing boring stuff. When I learn how to apply that information to reality, that's when it becomes more challenging. So today, online classes will not actually be effective, because classroom lone the child never listened in the class. Why will he listen when it is online? And that too, when he's in the house, the system isn't there, there's no focus. The teacher is not able to manage children in the classroom, let alone in the house. So, we're only trying to do what best we can do, but definitely online, I personally feel it's controversial again, but I personally feel online education will not work if the teacher is still going to teach in the old-fashioned method. If you can give, there are so many beautiful videos, so many educational companies who have actually done the content beautifully. Now the child can go through those videos, he'll pick it up in 2 seconds. So why should he listen to the teacher explaining when he can see a visual right in front of him, creating that whole scene in front of him without expecting him to imagine? So if you see this finger, which talks about imagination. Now, the way the teacher is talking maybe does not connect my imagination, but a cell phone with a video will immediately pick me up. So education needs to change. Education needs to be technology based. How we give it, what we give it has to be again reorganized.
వండర్ఫుల్. మీరు చాలా మందికి ఈ కెరీర్ కౌన్సిలింగ్ కూడా చేస్తుంటారు. అలాగే బిజినెస్ మెన్ కూడా మీరు చెప్పుంటారు దట్ ఈ కోవిడ్ సిచ్యువేషన్ మీరు అందరికంటే ఎక్కువ అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తుంటారు మీరు. ఈ సిచ్యువేషన్ తర్వాత ఎవరైతే కెరియర్స్ ఆల్రెడీ ఉన్నారో, సమ్ కెరియర్స్ మే నాట్ ఎగ్జిస్ట్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్, బట్ సమ్ న్యూ కెరియర్స్ మే అరైజ్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్. బట్ వాళ్ళకి బేసిక్ ప్రిన్సిపల్స్, బేసిక్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఉంటే గనక దే కెన్ అడాప్ట్ టు ఎనీ సిట్యుయేషన్ ఇన్ ద ఫ్యూచర్ టు. So how do you see this situation is an advantage to India or Indians, and how people have to prepare for the future post
See,
COVID?
basically మనకి కెరియర్ గైడెన్స్ అనేది ఎవరు ఇవ్వలేదు. Take this course, MPC, BPC. You know, we have those streamlined few categories of educational scenario. And after that, what is available, they join into that. If you see BTech today, half the BTechs don't even know how to write a letter. They don't know basics of what they studied. It's a really pitiable situation when you see the output after so many years of professional course. So that means people have got into this educational stream and have gone through that stream not interested in studies. Now we need to start understanding, one, what is the child gifted with? Like if you see mechanical engineering, why do people take it? Because their middle finger would be a higher ridge count. There are people who can't sit in one place, who like to be proactive. What about the person with the left thumb ridge count high? Would be a businessman, so he is a people's person. What about the right thumb high? Would be a management person, a person who has to be at the top, you know, where people are below him. The people who have thinking skills are people who are analytical. So you give them a software program, they will analyze and do it beautifully. So if careers are taken based on your capabilities, not because I studied this, I have to do this. Even in engineering, you see, why did you take this course? I don't know. It was just given in counseling, so I took the course. I'm going through 4 years of my engineering, not knowing why I took it, what I studied, and how I got out of it. Invariably, it will only be love stories, enjoyment, partying, and then last minute cramming. And I speak to lecturers also who, you know, are really in tears because of the students' lack of dedication. So the management is not able to do anything, colleges are not able to do anything, parents are not able to do anything because the child is unhappy. If the child's talent can be assessed right at 2 years of age, that is why I started the preschool. If at 2 years we take the fingerprint scan, it will not change for life. So if I know the child at 2 years and what his capabilities are, his strengths, his weaknesses, parents can then start nurturing this child in a proper manner, take him through life with an education as a routine, but more on strengthening his abilities. Suppose he's a proactive physical person. So more than school, after school, sports and games would be a better choice. But those people have said, no, you can't play games, no, study. It's 10th standard, you have to study. So what's happening is the priority is the parent's expectation and not the child's capabilities. So if careers are based on capabilities, we won't have this problem. Even today, all the adults, let alone children, even the parents, they don't know why the hell they are working wherever. Recently, I have, a few cases where, one person is a general manager, one guy is a doctor. They don't, actually their brain is meant to be something else. But they got into this smooth flow of the river flow, and they got into this stream of education, and they happen to take the profession. Most of them think about this when they come to the post-retirement stage. That is when, they are able to think, what did I really like to do? Till now, I lived for somebody else, for my parents, for my wife, for someone else. But now I need to live for myself. So post-retirement is when, realization happens in maybe my generation or the previous generations.
Yes. So thank you. Andy, that well, finally, I would like to ask you that there are so many employees who might have lost job, and there are so many employees are working from home, and there are some businessmen whose business is in loss, and they don't know some businesses, some careers. ఇప్పుడు tourism ఇవన్నీ ఎప్పుడు ఓపెన్ అవుతావో మళ్ళీ తెలియదు. అండ్ ద ఫ్యూచర్ ఈజ్ అండ్ బయటకు వెళ్దాం అంటే సిచ్యువేషన్ ఒకవేళ ఏదైనా కరోనా వస్తే హాస్పిటల్, గవర్నమెంట్ హాస్పిటల్ సిచ్యువేషన్ తెలిసిందే. ప్రైవేట్ హాస్పిటల్ ఇవాళ ఇన్సూరెన్స్ పనిచేస్తలేదు తెలియదు. అండ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గోయింగ్ టు బి డెఫినెట్లీ వెరీ కమర్షియల్ అంటే సప్లై వర్సెస్ డిమాండ్ అలా ఉంది కదండి. సో వాట్ డూ యూ థింక్ దిస్ మెంటల్ వెల్ బీయింగ్ ఉండడానికి, పీస్ఫుల్ గా ఉండడానికి, వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ సజెషన్స్ కెన్ యూ గివ్?
See, first, no, I always look at the positive side of things. So yes, you can worry about corona and worry about, when it's going to affect you. If I touch this, will it happen? lot of OCD cases who come to me because they always feel, that they've got corona and something is wrong with them, when actually nothing would be a problem. But if you look at what was I talking about?
It's all about the present.
How you look at life. Sorry. So since I'm a positive thinker, how I look at it is, this is the time that you have quality family time. First. Second, you can live on very basics. Till now, we have all lived a very luxurious life in whichever way in which our lives have been. So now when expenditure is cut down, even though income has reduced, even the expenditure has reduced. We try to live on what is basically what we need to live on. So people are now realizing, do we really need so much of money? Because we can live on less. One. Two, we have more time on our hands where we can think, what is it that I want to do in life? If not this, what else? Because everybody's brain is a beautiful workshop. They need to use this brain. Each one of us have a lot of desires, cravings, talents, which we need to start thinking about. There are a lot of online courses which are free of cost. Just going to YouTube, there is n number of stuff that you can learn free of cost. Even me, like I was specializing on how to make PowerPoint a video. So even for me, I'm not wasting any amount of time. Kindle has given me a chance to publish the book on my own because I had some ideas. I published a book, everything from scratch to everything I did on my own, and uploaded it free of cost. Now, I never thought I'd be a publisher so fast, but Corona has taught me that. Okay, you can learn so many kinds of skills. You can prepare yourself for the future. Thanks to all these apps and technology, we have online stuff. So whatever you want, whatever skill you have, you can share it, you can get famous. Today, social media is helping each and every one to bring out whatever is good in them. So I think this is an opportunity they need to utilize. Of course, loss is there. People are in pain. There is a lot of hardships financially, physically, and especially when family members are all stuck in the same house. That is when they realize, oh, we can't get along. Till then, everybody would escape to school, college, work, and the wife would be happy sitting at home. Now, suddenly she realizes the husband is at home, the son is at home, everybody is there, they're all fighting with each other because they can't get along. But who are they? They're your genes. The brain is there only. The combinations is, the root cause is there. But, people are not able to get along. So if you look at Corona situation, one, make the best use of it. Start thinking about what you want to do. Stop trying to push your husband or push your child to do what you think they need to do. But let each one explore their own brain, explore the internet, and come out with different kinds of new careers, even post-COVID. I mean, it's not the end of the world. We will, all of us, survive. Financially, yes, I know it is tight for everybody. But more than the financial crisis, I don't think other aspects would be such a big issue. It's mainly the finance, because people have to, run the day-to-day expenses.
True. So, you have some question. Can you go ahead?
Thank you so much. Am I audible?
Yeah,
Yes.
First of all, I thank Venu Bhagwan sir for giving me this privilege to join in this meeting. And thank you so much, madam. Today I came to know a new interesting topic, how our fingerprints are connected to our brain. And now my question is, if I give my fingerprints to you, how much time would you take to analyze what are my capabilities? And my other question is, according to your analysis, do we change our what we say success rate with this?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
if I am low innovative, or if I am low memory, if I am having low memory according to my fingerprints, am I able to increase my capacity?
Yes.
Okay. This
See,
is what my question is.
the minute you give me your fingerprints, 5 minutes, I'm able to tell you who you are. Okay. Maybe I will take 1 or 2 hours to explain your brain to you, but I will understand it in 5 minutes. First point.
Okay.
Second, when you look at your brain, please understand, all of us tend to think negatively. I have this weakness, maybe I can't do this, maybe I can't do that. Each and every person is gifted. First, understand that.
True.
You don't know how you're gifted, so you're looking at other people and expecting to be like them. When
Okay.
you are unique, why are you bothered about the rest of the world? First,
Okay.
work on your potential and get success based on what you can do, not what you can't do.
Okay. Can a person, if he likes business, but he is not capable in that business, is that able to increase his capacity? I mean, how you're telling is,
Okay,
correct me
okay.
if I am wrong.
Yeah.
If my, as this is a business group, if I am into business, according to your analysis, so if you think that my fields are not good for business, is that true?
See, a lot of families get into family business. So you are stuck with doing business.
Okay.
Okay. So there's no way out. Let's suppose you have to do business, but you're not designed to be a businessman.
Okay. Okay.
So one, what is it that is pulling you back? We need to analyze the situation and then connect it to your brain. So what is it that you are not able to do in the business? Does that correlate to what is wrong in your brain? If so, how do you need to reprogram your brain in order to achieve those targets?
Okay.
See, if I want to be the Prime Minister of India, if I set my mind to it, if I understand my brain, I can become that if I plan my next step properly.
Okay.
But the problem is, we are all happy the way we are. We limit ourselves. We live our lives in that level, thinking we can't go beyond. We are all like crabs, we are all stuck down only.
Yeah.
So first, what I do when I work on career or whatever is to visualize and imagine what is your dream ultimate goal.
Okay.
So forget about, can I do business? Can I not do business? What is your ultimate goal? Do you want to earn money? You want to be a fantastic orator? You want to be a businessman? What is it that you want to be? You should feel that within yourself. Simply saying, I want to be a businessman, but I'm not doing business is not, it's just looking at a situation from a very narrow perspective. I look at it from the bigger perspective.
Okay.
What is your goal?
Okay.
How to reach that goal? Work backwards. Look at your strength. Look at your weakness. What not to do, what to do. And how to plan the step in a strategic way in the time frame in order to reach there. It's very simple.
Okay. My
1 hour
other
and
question.
yeah.
Okay. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
My other question is, can goals be different and his capabilities will be different and his interests are different? Then how could we do that?
See, it won't be different. Your
Okay.
capability only will create your interest.
Okay.
Because that is your innate program. It's not something that is taught to you from other people.
Okay.
See, that is where I differ from being a psychologist and a dermatoglyphic analyst.
Okay.
Based on my strength and my skill and my ability, that is how my interest will come. But society, even me as a psychologist before, what did we think? Interest was taught to me by somebody. But I don't believe in that. I believe that you are interested in something because you have the ability to do it.
Okay. To keep
You just
in
have
simple.
you have to search for yourself. You can't just think that, I want to do this, but I can't do this.
Thank you, Imran. I'll be giving madam number. You can call her and you can get.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
I
It
will
will be
share
very
her
helpful.
number with you. Fine.
I'll just like to add one point. Maybe
Yes.
it's his lack of confidence, which is making him ask so many questions.
He's a wonderful.
The thing is, this is very interesting. Actually, I didn't hear it before. It is so interesting. I was just browsing some videos that fingerprints are determined in mother's womb only. Yesterday only I saw that video actually.
That's where we are produced.
Yeah, thank you so much, madam.
Good, Imran. So thanks for asking. And Naveen Garu is an educationist. He would like to, is also coach. And Naveen, can you please go ahead?
Yeah, Namaste Vijayalakshmi Garu.
Namaste Andi.
ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ ఈ రోజు వేణు అది ఫ్లయర్ పోస్టర్ పంపించినప్పుడు నేను అనుకున్నాను మీరు అన్ని చదివేశారు. దెన్ ఫస్ట్ థాట్ ఐ థాట్ ఇస్ యు హావ్ యూటిలైజ్డ్ యువర్ లైఫ్ వెల్.
Okay. Thank you. It's my
Me-
journey. God has taken me. I don't know whether I came here out of my own planning.
కరెక్ట్ అండ్ సెకండ్లీ ఇప్పుడు మీ మాటలు ఏంటంటే మీకున్న క్లారిటీ మీకున్న విజన్ ఇస్ రియల్లీ వండర్ఫుల్ రియల్లీ
Thank you.
మీలాంటి వాళ్ళు యాక్చువల్ గా మోడీని వెళ్ళి కలిసి పైనుంచి క్లీనింగ్ చేసుకుంటా కావాలి. ఓకే దట్ ఈస్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్ మీరు ఇందాక అన్నారు somebody wants to change, only we can change.
Yes, yes.
That's what you actually said. So my question is, Miru, because you've studied so much about the brain and the research done all over the planet. Now, is there no technique or where you can shift paradigm? No, Mr. One boy or girl is there, and then he's unwilling to change. So you said if he's willing to change, we can work on that person, and then we can upgrade him and evolve him. But there are people, like you said, now somebody is not willing to change, whatever it is.
Yes.
They may be victim,
Yes.
and they don't know that. So is there any technique or is there any science or is there methodology where you can change that paradigm and then make it work out? Where the door is closed, window is closed, you open the window first, open the door, then go ahead.
Yes. See, one lucky thing is that we are in India. So when a child comes in, the parents come in, and I have that support system who I can deal with. Whereas suppose I heard in US and all that, if a client comes, you have to deal with the client. You can't deal with the family. So for me, when they get a child who is not willing to change, I get a adult who is maybe 26 years old, drug addict, who doesn't want to change. So one, I explain to them who they are. I connect to them is the first part. So invariably, when I talk about them and give them that importance, they feel happy. Putting that aside, I make the support system also sit in my office when I am counseling. So as I'm talking to this person and connecting, the family around also is understanding their own child who they didn't know before. Because I will be bringing out some deep inner thoughts, feelings, which he would not have shared. So when the parent understands the child, I make the child sit outside afterwards. And I also try to bring about change in the environment. So why is he, suppose he's a drug addict, that's the worst scenario. So if he's a drug addict, then there's something that is making him feel frustrated. So what does he want? He wants to be in some great place. So first he needs to be given some positive attention. He should not be blamed at, he shouldn't be pointed at, he shouldn't be brought down. So the first initial step could be that, the family around him also starts making changes. Automatically, it will be a cumulative effect of one over the other, and we can bring about a change, even if he is not interested. But invariably, people, till they enter my office, will be crying, screaming, pulling their hair and, shouting, yelling, falling all over the floor. But once they come into my office, I make sure that they smile and go out happy. We can work on that. We have to change them, we have to educate them. Sorry?
Basically, you're saying change the paradigm, basically.
Yes. Change the world. Yes, definitely.
Change their environment.
Yes.
No, okay. This is regarding kids, madam. Now, what about, for example, what about adults? For example, you may have heard about Marshall Goldsmith, who is one of the top 50 management thinkers. He's a coach for CEOs.
Okay.
So what he's one of the top highest paid coaches in the world. He does one-on-one coaching and all that. He says, I never take, even if the company of course will sponsor the payment, of course, but I never take a mentee who's unwilling to change. No, mentee may be 40, 50, whatever, 55 years. So your example was for children and kids. What about adults?
Even adults. I can bring about a change in anybody. See, first is a person is stuck. He doesn't know what's wrong, but he's angry. Life is not the way he wants it to be. So he's frustrated. See, I'm a very simple, logical person. So I forget about all the blah, blah, superficial stuff. And I say, now what do we want to do with this person? We want him to change. He doesn't want to change. So why should he change? First question. If he changes, what and all should he change? Why is he not able to make those changes? If you analyze those situations, you'll easily find answers which will give you a grip to make him change and evolve. I have just single one sessions with alcoholic addicts. You know, husband and wife fights. We have just 1-2 sessions. That's all. I don't have long therapy sessions like a typical psychologist, you know, who we go into therapy and all that. In Kakinada, all that doesn't work. So it's one session. I have to finish them. The work has to be done.
Title need is Vijay Lakshmi Garu should be duplicated and duplicated and duplicated.
I think, Madam, COVID has done a great opportunity to you. So it's time where you can be global. So I think world needs you.
Thanks to you. Thanks to you.
So thank you so much. And many people look for your number now. So they'll start asking me already. What number can you share, Madam?
You can share my number now. It's not a big secret. So it's there everywhere. So
it's there.
You type my name and you got my number. So
very nice. So anybody wants Madam number can type Dr. Vijay Lakshmi Garu, Kakinada, and you will find her website and number. So it's there in social media. And she's very popular. You may not be knowing, but that millions of people already know her. So and she's the star in East Godavari. Thank you so much, Madam, for being here.
Thank you for this opportunity. It's lovely because till today I've always, hated to come in front of the camera, and I was very reluctant. Somehow you made me come, so maybe I'll get addicted to this also.
I know how much conversation we had. So you finally given time. Thank you so much. And in fact, we're not Jepper that I'm hiding myself, and then I think we both are alike. So that's great. It's time, Madam, where your service and your insights are needed, because as a bold momentum, what we feel is it's time where we are bold enough to express ourselves, because ఈ ప్రపంచంలో పర్టికులర్గా చూడండి, మన మూవీస్ కానీ మనకి యూట్యూబ్లో కానీ పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ వియర్డ్ ఐడియాస్. పీపుల్ హ్యావ్ కొంచెం ఉన్న వాళ్ళు ఎక్కువ లైక్ చేస్తున్నారు, వాళ్ళ యూత్ ఐకాన్స్ అవుతున్నారు. అది కారణం వాళ్ళు కాదండి, మనకి ఎప్పటి నుంచో మహాభారతం నుంచి చెప్తానే ఉంటారు కదండి. ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్ ద యాక్షన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద రాస్కల్స్ విచ్ విల్ డూ ద మోర్ హార్మ్ ఇన్ ద సొసైటీ, బట్ ఇట్ ఇస్ ద సైలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ ద గుడ్ పీపుల్ డస్ ద మోర్ హార్మ్ అని. అందుకని మీలాంటి వాళ్ళ వాయిస్, నాలాంటి వాళ్ళ వాయిస్ ఎక్కువ వినపడాలి. Then I think that will create, because నిన్నే నాకు ఎప్పుడో 7-8 years బ్యాక్ ఇచ్చినటువంటి ఇంపాక్ట్ ఒక యూట్యూబ్ లేకపోతే డైరెక్ట్ గా మాట్లాడిందో ఇప్పటికీ మెసేజ్ వస్తుంటాయండి. అంటే ఎప్పుడో సీడ్ వేసాం మనం, అది ఇప్పుడు వస్తా ఉంటుంది. లాంగ్ జర్నీ కదా మేడం. సో యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ ఏ గ్రేట్ జాబ్. మేబీ ఏ పర్సన్ లైక్ మీ విల్ గివ్ ఎ సెషన్, బట్ యు ఆర్ డూయింగ్ 1-to-1. ఒక ఫ్యామిలీ వస్తే మీరు ఒక 1 hour స్పెండ్ చేస్తారు. ఈవేళ ఒక డాక్టర్ కూడా అలా స్పెండ్ చేసే పరిస్థితి లేదంటే ఇవాళ చెప్పుకునే వాళ్ళు లేరు మనుషులు. సో యూ హ్యావ్ సచ్ ఏ కైండ్ హార్ట్ అండ్ యూ లిసన్ టు దెమ్, అండ్ ఐ కెన్ సీ యువర్ ప్యాషన్. చిల్డ్రన్ అని పేరు చెప్పినా, ఎడ్యుకేషన్ అని చెప్పినా, దిస్ ఎ గ్లో. మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్ నేను పక్కకుండి మిమ్మల్ని ఎందుకు చూపిస్తున్నానంటే, బికాస్ ఐ వాంట్ పీపుల్ టు సీ దట్ వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ ప్యాషన్ అండ్ ఎనర్జీ యూ హ్యావ్, హౌ మచ్ లవ్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఫర్ ద సొసైటీ అండ్ పీపుల్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఫర్ చిల్డ్రన్. And you must write more books, and you must come more often to our bold talks also. And world should get benefit, and more leaders are created and mentored by you. So thank you so much, Vijay Lakshmi Garu, for being a guest to the Bold Talk and really enlightening all of us here. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Namaste.
Thank you all the participants for your lovely questions also. Thank you.